Welcome to Enchanted Love Tales.
I am Princess Eliza, your fiancée.
In a vast and prosperous kingdom, there ruled a just and dignified king. His queen was extremely kind-hearted, wise, and incredibly beautiful. They had a daughter whose name was Princess Eliza. Princess Eliza was a remarkably beautiful young royal. Her long silky hair, bright eyes, and charming smile captivated everyone who saw her. Because of her gentle voice and kind heart, the people loved her deeply, and the palace walls echoed with her laughter. But when Eliza turned 18, suddenly her mother fell seriously ill. All the physicians were called, prayers were made, but fate had decided otherwise. Eliza's mother passed away, and for the first time, the palace was drowned in true silence. Princess Eliza was deprived of her mother's warm embrace. The sparkle in her eyes dimmed, yet her face still held the grace that a true heir should possess. Time passed, and on the advice of the kingdom—
Your Majesty, the Queen's passing is a great loss for us all, but now, for the kingdom's well-being, you must consider remarrying.
You speak wisely.
The new queen was very beautiful, intelligent, and sweet in her speech. She also had a daughter named Sophia. Sophia was the same age as Eliza, but her heart was filled with jealousy. Both mother and daughter were extremely cunning. Gradually, their influence began spreading throughout the palace. But no one knew that the new queen was not just a woman, but a powerful sorceress. A few months later, the king announced that—
Hear ye! Let it be known throughout the kingdom that Princess Eliza's engagement has been arranged.
Alexander of a neighboring kingdom. They already knew each other and liked each other. The engagement was celebrated grandly.
You are my life.
But this happiness was unbearable for the stepmother and Sophia.
What happened, my love? Why didn't you come to the engagement?
Please, I want Alexander. Oh, my love. He is already yours.
One night, the step-queen went into her secret chamber and performed a magical ritual. She dripped drops of blood onto a red rose and placed it under the moonlight. By morning, the rose had become enchanted. Whoever smelled its fragrance would turn
Your
into a
Highness,
crow.
This is your morning juice.
Alexander sent this.
The stepmother immediately went to the king and told him that Princess Eliza was not in the palace. The king ordered a search everywhere at once.
Kingdom Fremos. Search for the princess at once. Leave no stone unturned.
Understood, Your Highness. I will see to it immediately.
But there was no trace of the princess anywhere. The king was heartbroken. News of the princess's disappearance spread throughout the kingdom, and Prince Alexander was constantly sad and troubled by Eliza's sudden vanishing. Time kept passing. Sophia began trying to take Eliza's place, and the stepmother slowly started convincing
The kingdom needs stability. Breaking the alliance with Prince Alexander would not be wise. Our daughter Sophia is the
same age as Eliza. Perhaps this would be the better decision for the kingdom. The king agreed, but in his heart, the sorrow of his daughter Eliza burned like embers. However, Prince Alexander was never willing to accept this false relationship.
I cannot live in a false relationship. I will go and search for the princess myself.
He believed that Eliza had not simply disappeared. Something had happened to her. So Prince Alexander set out himself in search of Eliza. He traveled through fields and forests, asking every traveler he met about Princess Eliza, but no one knew anything about her. At night, when the stars shone in the sky, Alexander would sit under a tree, remembering Eliza, and silently vow that he would not return to the palace until he found her.
Where are you? I will find you.
Then one day, Prince Alexander was passing through a dense forest when suddenly a crow came and sat in front of him and called out his name. Hearing this, Alexander was shocked and said,
How do you know my name?
I am Princess Eliza, your fiancée.
Hearing this, Prince Alexander was stunned. Then Eliza, in the form of a crow, told him the whole truth about how she had been turned into a crow through magic and deception, and that only Alexander could free her from this curse. Alexander asked,
What do I have to do?
Go further into the forest. You will find a house where an evil witch will offer you food and drink. But you must not accept anything, because if you eat or drink,
fall asleep, and then you will not be able to free me.
Stand behind the house in the garden near a pile of leather and wait for me. For 3 days, I will come every day at 2 o'clock in the afternoon in a carriage. On the first day, there will be 4 white horses, on the second day 4 brown horses, and on the third day 4 black horses. But if you do not stay awake and fall asleep, I will remain imprisoned forever. Prince Alexander promised.
I promise. I will follow every instruction you gave me. I won't eat anything, and I won't drink anything.
No, you will never be able to free me.
He will accept something from that woman. Alexander assured her that he would not eat or drink anything, and then he moved forward. Eventually, he reached the hut. When he entered, a woman welcomed him and said,
Oh, poor Prince Alexander. You look so weak and tired. Come, have something to eat and drink.
No, I cannot eat or drink. I will not fall into your trap.
Eventually, Alexander was persuaded by her and took 1 sip.
okay, come on, drink this juice. You'll feel refreshed, I promise.
Around noon, he went to the garden to wait for Eliza, but suddenly he felt extremely tired and lay down. He had intended not to sleep, but as soon as he closed his eyes, he fell into a deep sleep. At 2 o'clock, Princess Eliza came in human form in a carriage drawn by 4 white horses. She was sad and said,
I know. He must be asleep.
to wake him, but he did not wake up,
Alexander,
and she left in disappointment.
please.
The same thing happened the next day. When Alexander woke up, he felt great regret.
She must have passed by.
The next day, around noon, the same woman came again and brought delicious food and sherbet for Prince Alexander. But Alexander accepted nothing. However, she would not let him rest and kept insisting until at last Alexander took a sip from the glass.
It will give you energy.
Near 2 o'clock, he went to the garden to the heap of tanning material to wait for Eliza. But suddenly, he felt...
No, not today. I won't sleep.
But suddenly, he felt such intense fatigue that his limbs could not support him. He could not control himself and was forced to lie down, falling into a deep sleep. When Princess Eliza arrived in the carriage with 4 brown horses, she went to him. But Prince Alexander was asleep, and there was no way to wake him.
He's still asleep.
Sighing in disappointment, she returned. Today again,
Oh my god. Eloise is gone again.
the next day, the woman came again to Prince Alexander and asked,
What does this mean? You neither eat nor drink. Do you want to die?
I am not allowed to eat or drink, and I will not do so.
But she placed a plate of food and a glass of sherbet before him, for she had mixed such magic into the sherbet that its fragrance forced a person to drink it. When Alexander smelled it, he could not resist and took a deep sip. When the time came, Prince Alexander went to the garden near the heap and waited for Eliza, but he felt even more tired than the previous day. He lay down and slept as if he were a stone. At 2 o'clock, Princess Eliza arrived with 4 black horses, and the coachman and everything else were black as well. She was already in deep sorrow. He must
was sleeping, and he'll never set me free.
Came to him. Prince Alexander was in a deep sleep. She shook him and called him, but could not wake him. Then Eliza placed a loaf of bread beside him, then a piece of meat, and thirdly a bottle of sherbet. These were magical things from which Alexander could eat and drink as much as he wished, yet they would never run out. After that, Eliza removed a golden ring from her finger and put it on Alexander's finger, with her name engraved on it. Finally, she placed a letter beside him. After doing all this, Eliza sat in her carriage and set off toward the golden castle of Stumberg. Alexander awoke and saw that he had slept. He said sorrowfully, "She must have passed, and I could not free her." Then he saw the things lying beside him and read the letter, which said what she had given him and that none of those things would ever diminish. It also said, "I can clearly see that you will never be able to free me here. But if you still wish to free me, then come to the golden castle of Stumberg. It is within your power, I am sure of it." But he did not know where it was. Meanwhile, the witch was actually the sister of his stepmother.
At last I have completed my sister's task. Now no one can free the princess.
After wandering in the world for a long time, Alexander reached a dense and dark forest. He kept walking continuously for 14 days, but could not find any way out of the forest. Finally, evening came, and due to extreme exhaustion, he lay down under a bush and fell asleep. The next day, he set out on his journey again. In the evening, when he stopped to rest, he heard screams and crying coming from a distance. At the same time, he noticed a faint light. He got up and started walking toward that light. After a while, Prince Alexander saw a house and went inside, but in front of him stood a giant. Seeing him, the giant said that he would eat him because he had not had any food for a long time. At first, Alexander was frightened, but then he calmly said that he had such food that would never run out.
You've given me such delicious food. Tell me, how can I help you?
I need to go to Stemberg Fort.
Okay, let me check my maps. Oh man, I can't find the way to Stemberg Fort.
Prince Alexander was about to continue his journey, but the giant said to stay a few more days. "My brother has gone to bring supplies when here." So Alexander stayed there for a few days. When giant's brother returned.
My brother has arrived. He will help you.
This man needs to go to Stemberg Fort, but he cannot find the way.
I know the way.
Can you take me there?
Yes, I will take
He
you.
also searched in his old maps and finally found the golden castle.
Is the way to Stemberg Fort.
But it was thousands of miles away. Alexander became worried and asked how he would get there. The giant said that he could take him near the castle in 2 hours. So he took Alexander with him and left him about 100 leagues away from the castle and then returned.
There is your glass mountain.
After that, Alexander kept walking day and night until he reached the castle. The castle was built on a glass mountain. The enchanted Princess Eliza kept circling around the castle in her carriage. When Alexander saw her, he became very happy and tried to climb the mountain, but because of the slippery glass, he kept falling down again and again. Finally, he decided to wait there. He built a small hut and spent a whole year there. Every day, he watched Eliza moving above, but he could not reach her. One day, he saw 3 robbers fighting badly among themselves.
Treasure is mine! No! We agreed to share it! Both of you are fools! It belongs to me!
Alexander called out from a distance.
May God be with you.
When he asked the reason, the robbers told him that they had found 3 magical things.
Show me your magic stick.
This magic stick can open any door.
Show me your magic cloak. When someone wears this cloak, they become invisible.
Third had a horse that could go anywhere, even climb the glass mountain. They were fighting over who should keep these things. Then Alexander said that first he should test these things to see whether they were truly magical or not. The robbers agreed and gave him the horse, the cloak, and the stick. As soon as Alexander wore the cloak, he disappeared from their sight. Then he struck them a few times with the stick and said loudly, "Now you have received your share. Are you satisfied now?" After that, Alexander climbed the glass mountain with the help of the magical horse. When he reached the door of the castle, it was closed. He struck it with a magical stick and the door immediately opened. He slowly entered inside and climbed the stairs until he reached the hall where Princess Eliza, still in the form of a crow, was sitting. In front of her was a golden bowl filled with drink. Eliza could not see him because Alexander was wearing the magical cloak and was invisible. Alexander quietly went near her and took out the golden ring that Eliza had given him before and gently dropped it into the bowl. Hearing the sound of the ring, Eliza was startled and said,
"This is my ring. Alexander has arrived, and he will set me free."
As soon as she said this, the magic broke and Eliza immediately returned to her human form. At that very moment, Alexander removed the cloak and appeared before everyone. Eliza ran toward him with joy and smiled and
You
said,
have finally freed me, Alexander.
Yes, because you are my life.
Both returned to the palace. The king was very happy to see his daughter, while the stepmother and her daughter Syra were left shocked.
Mother, why would she come back?
Eliza told the king about the entire conspiracy. After learning the truth, the king became furious and ordered that the stepmother and Syra be imprisoned forever. After that, Eliza and Alexander were married with great celebration, and they lived their lives happily ever after.